10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good golly, Miss Molly. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to the return of the Monday afternoon show slot time thing after our Wednesday evening experiment, which wasn't too bad, but I think Monday afternoon at 3 p.m. is our time. This is our time. And Monday, what a day it's been. Dominoes falling all over the place. We're obviously here to talk about entertainment, but of course cannot ignore such things. Momentous events going on in the world. But I hope you're all having a great day and a great year so far. 2025, we're living in the future. Is it? I still find it kind of hard to believe. As a kid who grew up in the 60s and 70s, I remember when it turned 1970, I thought, my God, this is like science fiction. You know, we've landed on the moon and now it's the 1970s. Where's my rocket ship? Where's my, phaser? Some of those things kind of came true. Like, the Star Trek tricorder could be, the cell phone. I mean, we're holding these things that are like computers that were greater than any computer in that era. But then other things seem to have stalled. Where's the moon base? Where's my moon bases? Where are the aliens? I don't know. There's all sorts of stuff. 2025. I mean, half the science fiction movies we loved in back in the day were set earlier than this. So that is indeed kind of weird, is it not? The Jetsons lied to the 70s. That's right. Soul Assassin, they did. Welcome to you all. It's great to be back on Mondays. For domestic reasons, it wasn't working. And it was the only night I actually had off from streaming, or the only official night I had off. So it's kind of nice to get that Wednesday night back. How else am I going to make videos otherwise? But I hope you all had a great Christmas and New Year. I had a very quiet one. But things are about to noise up and be less quiet because our great friend John Das Wolfen is here. How are you, buddy? Oh, I can't hear you. Sorry about that, mate. However, you look good. We have a temporary audio problem with John. I'm sure we'll sort it, but good to see you, mate. But yeah, it was a pretty quiet Christmas and New Year for me, which is fine. And I noticed that YouTube is starting adding this thing to the top of the chat that says goal. And you click on it and it's supposed to set a goal for things like super chats, whatever. My goal in every live show is to make it to the end of the show alive, if possible. So that's my only goal. And I've managed it so far. Maybe I'll be able to keep doing that in 2025. Who knows? Sporting my Squid Game mug. Obviously, Squid Game 2 was out. A half a season. That's why it didn't quite make my top shows of the year. It was like, okay, but it's like a half a season. Still can't quite hear John, but I'm sure they'll sort it. Even if he has to drop out and come back, that'll probably do. Hey, we got you, man.
There he is.
Woohoo! Good to hear you. How are you, mate?
I'm doing good. Got today off because of the weather, so I wanted to pop on relatively early enough.
Well, no,
a few minutes.
Thank you for joining me. It's always good to see you. I know you've got so many competing pressures these days that it's tough to make shows, but Thanks for being here, buddy. And I just want to tell you, it's your fault that I have wasted dozens of hours playing Fallout again. So I went through 3 days of installing Tale of Two Wastelands. I went through the entire guide and then through the thing after that told you the other stuff to do. That took me about 3 days, but I'm playing it now. But I'm still in the Fallout 3 portion. You know, I haven't moved on to... I think you can get a train to the Mojave to get you.
What happens is after you finish the main quest, you can go. You'll basically go to the go get shot in the head by Benny. That's
right.
Basically what you'll go do.
No matter how you get there, Benny's going to shoot you in the head.
Yeah.
Matthew Perry, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
He was the voice. So Matthew Perry will shoot you in the head. R.I.P. Matthew. But also, so it's your fault. I'm wasting dozens of hours on that when I should be making videos and doing shit. And I'm not even doing like you. I'm not even streaming it. Like, what am I doing with this thing? You know, and I'm cheating using console commands to get cash and carry weight and stuff. Well, welcome, Joe. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Sorry I'm late. I was in the middle of an alert on DCUO, and I thought it was going to go faster than it did. And all of a sudden I look up and it's 4 minutes after 4. I was like, oh shit, I got to go.
It's good to see you, brother. Good to see you. How was your Christmas and New Year break?
Oh, it was good. It was just me and Foxy here at the house, man. No kids came home or nothing. I got the grad kids stuff sent out, and it was good to go, man.
Same as us, yeah. Mm-hmm. We could lie around all day playing Tale of Two Wastelands.
No. That's you
cursing,
guys. I'm DCUO, Madden, college football. I tried some other things. I tried Dynasty Warriors. They have a demo for the newest. What's it called? Origins? Is that it, John? The new one?
Yeah,
that's out. But anyway, they had a demo you could download, and it was just like playing any of the other ones I used to play when I was young, man. You're taking on hundreds of dudes all at once, just whack the hell out of them.
Pardon, say that again. Taking on hundreds of dudes all at once.
Come on, guys. Do you have to have your mind in the gutter 24/7?
I do.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So as Tim is saying in the chat, if it hadn't been Benny, it had been Alec Baldwin that had shot us. There would be no coming back from that.
Right.
I'm surprised that nobody's done a mod with Alec Baldwin instead of Benny in Fallout New Vegas. But yeah, good to see you, Joe. Thank you for being here, my friend.
Yes, sir.
We will talk a little bit about gaming later. This is kind of because I'm lazy and I couldn't be bothered doing a topic and all that prep that comes with it.
No, you had a topic. It's just the person you wanted on for it couldn't be here.
So next week, I'll plug it now.
Yeah.
I'm going to plug next week.
I've been plugging it for a month almost.
Yeah, but, next week is going to be, if I can find the right freaking image.
I tend to, when you tell me you're going to do something, I tend to plug it, and then all of a sudden you change your mind.
It changes, because that's the nature of the beast. Canon Film Club next Monday. With our great friend Austin Trunick joining us. He couldn't make it this week, so we pushed that show back to next week. And we're doing America 3000, which kind of fits it also with the post-apocalyptic sci-fi movies we've been doing as well. Absolutely. I call it Mad Maxi Pad America 3000. It's America post-apocalypse ruled by feral women. So what's the difference between that and today? I don't know.
Not sure.
Definitely a peak 80s movie.
Peak 80s. Or what's the opposite of peak? Subterranean.
I don't know.
So that's next week's show, and it's I've already started working on that. For those who want to see America 3000, because physical media and that's a bit expensive and rare, you can get a free low resolution copy on YouTube. There's lots of copies, but also Tubi have started showing it as of December 31st, or showing it on Tubi TV, so you can watch a better quality copy on Tubi, all with a couple of ads slipped in there. So that's where you can see that movie, and it is a sight to behold.
Yeah,
it's quite something.
I watched it a long time ago, but Yeah,
It's quite something. It's
just look at the poster. Tell you how crazy it is.
Oh yeah, it's definitely peak. So that's next Monday's show. Monday, 3 p.m. Mountain Time. We're back.
Yes.
Back in the slot. And Pope, I think, is going to be joining us because he can make it after work in this time slot. And hopefully Imperitus, who couldn't do the Wednesday nights. I'm hoping our great friend Imp will be here later as well. Shout out to everyone in the chat, of course. Thank you for joining us, sticking with us through the Wednesday experiment. Lots of great people here. Obviously, D-Bud Martin, huge supporter of the channel, Major League Wrench. He's back because this is a better time slot. So good to see you, D-Bud. Also, Davina, who's wrenching. Good to see you. We have Tim, FKHC, Soul Assassin, and
not the Assassin.
The Assassin of Souls. Streamlabs is here. Good to see them. Maddie's daddy, Steve's here. Good to see you, Steve. I'm sure, hopefully, Lord Thoth, who's celebrating with me a momentous day where there was some hemorrhoid removal today in Canada.
Yes. Now, let me ask you something. The article I read said that he's going to step down, but not until the party has a new leader. Is that right? Did I read that correctly?
Yes, because what they're doing to avoid calling an election is just claiming it's a party leadership issue. So, Hails X. They won't necessarily get away with that, but it's a start. Let's put it. Everything has to begin with the first step, and this is the first step. So, Zach's who will agree with me because he's Canadian too. Lord and Lindsay is here. So in celebration today, and it's winter here. In celebration of that event, I did go out today to clear some snow. So I left a tribute to our former Prime Minister.
Are you trying to say he's limp? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, he's certainly not as impressively built as this, but obviously not allowing us to heat our homes by closing down all Canadian energy sources. This is the result of that. You're going to get this if you're allowing the extreme cold. So
just dumb
indeed.
Yep.
Another Canadian joke I wanted to get out of the way before we get into talking about stuff we loved last year, which we're going to do. Our great friend Tim, FKHC, did send me this glowing tribute to our beloved Toronto Maple Leafs. So, taken at the time of the last Stanley Cup parade in Toronto.
That's awesome.
This actually is faked, obviously, because there was no cameras around when the last time they won it. So, so thank you, Tim, for sending that one through. There'll be I have a few more funny things. You hated Toronto Maples. I don't hate them. I laugh at them. I mock them. I deride them, and then I'm also
sounds like they
jealous.
Deserve your mocking.
They do. They're the never was is trying to be has-beens.
Right.
I mean, never was trying to be a has-been. That's a great line from a Art Bergman song, Bound for Vegas. A Canadian musician, Zax and Lord Thoth might know Art Bergman. So, anyway, it's a cheap, easy, lazy way of making a show, but I thought we'd talk about some of the things we loved or didn't love last year. Mainly loved, because we're kind of positive in this show, you know?
Yeah.
We talk about the positive
stuff. Turn on plenty of channels and watch stuff you hate.
Yeah, so I've got a few movies and TV shows. I sat down to try and rank stuff, and first of all, I can't remember what I watched more than a month ago, so it's a bit difficult. Right. And then I have very loose rules about these things. So if it was released in 2023, but I didn't see it till 2024, I kind of include it in 2024. Lazy, I know. Mm-hmm. And then some other loose kind of rules around those things. But I kind of came up with a few things that there's movies, TV, games, and some music. So we'll go around the houses and we'll all throw our hat in the ring for those. And a lot of stuff, when I look back, I went, yeah, I enjoyed that. There was very few things that really grabbed me and stuck in my mind as being, well, that was something that of any year was good.
Mm-hmm.
For me, just let's talk about movies to start with. The one for me that really did it, which I would definitely put at number one, was the Hong Kong martial arts movie Twilight of the Warriors, Walled In. Now, have you guys seen this movie?
No.
No, I haven't.
Oh, this is a spectacular movie. If you love martial arts movies and if you love Hong Kong martial arts movies, this was like a love letter to 80s Hong Kong martial arts.
Ooh.
Oh, it sounds like it's right up my alley then.
Oh, you'd love it. I'd recommend you both. I mean, I know you, John.
I'm a big Bruce Lee fan myself.
Yeah. Well, this has got Sammo Hung in it, amongst other people, or Well. He's known as Well to his friends, obviously. Sammo Hung. That joke fell completely flat, and I'm not surprised.
No.
It's set in the Kowloon walled city, which obviously was knocked down in the 80s.
Yeah.
But the sets they built are fantastic recreations of that. But they also went to incredible lengths to capture the products that would have been, so it's 80s drinks, food, records, furniture, you name it, all the bits and pieces.
Wow.
So they went to took incredible lengths to do that. But then the cast spent about a year training for this film, martial arts wise, and the results showed off on this page on the screen because it's just phenomenal. Not only though is the martial arts action good, it's a story of brotherhood and community. So all the things we don't get in Western movies now.
Right.
Now I'm going to show some trailers today, just so everyone can get an idea of these things. I'll obviously be copyright claim to hell, but I don't care. So this is, for those who haven't seen it, is the trailer for Twilight of the Warriors.
警告你，城寨唔到你亂嚟。
Oh,
Love that, catching the cigarette as he gets up.
錢緊要定命緊要？
The traditional bus fight. Everyone loves a bus fight.
of course. Have you read the graphic novel it's based on?
I have not. I'm not such a big graphic novel fan. I love that where he catches the sword in his teeth.
Yeah.
That's the.
Oh! I hate that one when somebody's back gets bent back like that. Oh.
Yeah.
今日就要你打橫行出去。
Very 80s Hong Kong. It's got all the.
I recognize a lot of these dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in it.
Proper wire work.
Oh yeah.
Right?
So that absolutely was my favorite movie of the year, beyond question. But not just because of the magnificent action in it and the beautiful cinematography and sets, but the story of brotherhood. It's like basically different gangs, and it's four guys from these different groups come together to fight the drug dealers and the people that are exploiting the community in the walled city. And it's a real tale of brotherhood amongst those guys. You know, it's a beautiful story, very very beautiful finish. Neoclassic Hong Kong kung fu film. Of course, as Davina rightly points out, and Tim, the Kowloon walled city, of course, we saw the real one in Bloodsport, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Really?
Before they knocked it down. Yes. So a great movie, definitely my number one of the year, beyond doubt. distributed by Wellgo USA, who do a lot of distribution of Asian stuff, a lot of Korean and other movies. So, I mean, that was a clear number one for me, which is hard to kind of do. I mean, I've got a lot that are like second. That was, I mean, it just goes through you guys. I mean, did you have a clear number one movie that you enjoyed the most this year?
This year, yeah. Me and my wife went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine 3 weekends in a row.
Yeah,
it was so fucking good. I mean, and the reason why I say it was good is because they actually, when they made this, first of all, Ryan Reynolds did this for himself, not for Disney, and he set it up to where he could do what he wanted to do. And it's a fantastic love letter to the Fox movies that they just bought, that they're going to redo into
they're going to ruin
they're going to ruin in the future with the MCU, right? But it was a great ode to those movies. I mean, right down to the credits at the end of it, where they showed all the behind the scenes things, and you see Hugh Jackman talking about how much pressure he felt on himself before the first day of shooting as Wolverine. You know, he talks about that at the end of the movie, and it was just, dude, a dynamite. And what I really loved about it, of course, you know, my father's from Boston.
Boston.
Yeah, Boston.
Get
and
off
I really
my
root for
fucking porch.
all the Bostonians that are in Hollywood. Some of them are crazy and all that stuff. But what I really loved about it was Chris Evans in it, and him playing Johnny Storm. I've always thought he was really good at Captain America, but he was great as Johnny Storm, because if you don't know anything about Chris Evans, he's one of the biggest shit talkers ever walked the planet. And they showed that in that movie. You know, it was great, man. I thought it was awesome. But, you know, it was a great send off to the Fox catalog of things. And I thought the cameos were great. You know, of course, the setup was just silly. It's based on the MCU stuff, but
silly is good.
But it's what we've always wanted to see: Hugh Jackman and friggin' Ryan Reynolds in a movie together. He's teased this over the last 2 movies. You know, he's always talking about Wolverine. The guy's obviously, you know,
those two have got such a great relationship over the years. Yeah. So, like, Hugh Jackman went on tour with his musical thing, singing and dancing.
Right.
He always had a clip from Ryan Reynolds taking the piss out of him in the screen at the back, and then he'd do a quick Wolverine thing. Vice versa, they're always taking the piss out of him.
Yeah. Well, they're best friends, and it shows on the screen, man. They're fantastic. That was a clear number one for me.
I think it was there were only 2 English language movies that I really would have included in my top 10. That's one of them.
Okay.
The other one I'll talk about later. Strictly speaking, it could be a Swedish language, not English. But
I got you. Well, you asked me what my number one was.
No, and it's a great. It was the first English language one that did spring to mind. Hollywood movie that sprang to mind. One of the few that was worthwhile.
They did it right. They did. They really did. And
love letter.
Just total fun.
And
It's Check Your Brain at the Door movie. Have fun, and it's fantastic. Yeah.
To see Wesley Snipes as Blade.
Oh my God! Really? There's only ever
just
one
for
thing.
that.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, and you know what? When he really knocked it out of the park, every time they were knocking out of the park, you always saw Ryan Reynolds Deadpool staring at the screen, breaking the third wall. Like, we did that. Yeah, you know, it was awesome. I thought it was really cool. Yep.
What about you, John?
There's a lot of movies I wanted to be my best movie, but
just came up short. Yeah.
Yeah. I had high hopes for Craven. It was okay.
I still haven't seen it yet.
Not seen it yet.
See it, but
I had high hopes for Venom: The Last Dance.
It was okay.
It was okay, but it wasn't as good as the first movie. So, but I was thinking, you know, they were doing Null. I mean, come on. I mean, how can you? You know, and Andy Serkis is Null. I mean, come on. They had all the pieces there, just didn't execute. But there's 2 that stand out to me, and one of them, of course, is Deadpool Wolverine, just because that movie is just so freaking awesome. The other's Godzilla X Kong. Oh yeah.
It was good. It was pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty good. It's not in my top 10, but it was worth watching for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's for me. There's a lot of movies I didn't watch this year. I've been busy with work and other stuff going on. It's
Yeah.
it's just I haven't had a chance to watch a lot of movies, so I didn't see. There's a lot I didn't see. Like I still haven't seen Dune 2.
Well, believe it or not, I haven't either. And it's
Which one?
partly because the Dune 2, the reaction
really?
to
You haven't seen that yet?
the reaction to, well, when I read the reviews and people saying what happened towards the end and the way that Chani's character was changed.
Well, did you expect Zendaya to do something else?
I will watch it one day, but Dune's never been my thing anyway. I never liked the books.
Me either. It's my stepson's thing, and he really digs it. And he wasn't upset by the end of it. I mean, they did change he did say that they did change what the character did in the book. But
I will sit down and watch it one day. It's for sure.
I went and saw it in IMAX with a friend
spectacle.
of mine, and that is something to see on an IMAX screen.
Yeah,
Man. It is. I mean, if you like good special effects that look real in a friggin' science fiction movie, Deneuve really knocks that shit out of the park.
Yeah, I should get around to watching it. I will. And another thing about when I talk about films I've enjoyed in the year, a lot of films I didn't see. Like I just didn't bother. I didn't see them. There's only so much time, and I tend to lay off a lot of the Hollywood stuff. So,
yeah.
But I think if I was to have a clear number 2, and it's funny, given my love of Korean movies, my number 1 and 2 movies are not Korean. But Godzilla -1 minus color.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was this year. Yeah.
And
because the colorized version was last year.
Because I didn't see the color one, but this was released in January. And I went to see it in January.
I bet it's great. I bet it's great in black and white.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I didn't include that because I knew that it came out. The original movie came out in December, so I didn't include that.
Yeah.
That's why he made the caveat at the beginning of it, buddy.
That's why I cheat.
If I could choose, if I could go back, that would be on top of Godzilla X Kong, just because that is an amazing Godzilla movie.
It just spectacular to look at, but again with a great story and with heart and emotion in it.
I mean, I still haven't gotten around to seeing this one, but from what I understood, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, if you took Godzilla out of this movie, you'd still have a great post-apocalyptic Japan movie.
You would,
Yeah.
So that really speaks volumes to how well they wrote this thing.
Yeah, you actually cared about the people, which is something I don't care about in most Hollywood movies now. So I counted, because it was January, I counted that in this year's. Let's just take a little look at that trailer. Spent the equivalent of one episode of The Acolyte on this.
They paid Michelle Yeoh more for her movie, Section 31 movie coming out than they spent on this movie.
Yeah, she's getting 12 million for that.
Yeah, she's getting the budget for this flick. Yeah, basically.
So I mean, a tiny taster there, but everything about it for me was perfect.
What blew me away when I saw the first trailer for this was the scene where the boat is trying to get away from him and he's swimming. I was like, whoever did this is a huge fan of Jaws, because that's what I thought of the first time I saw it. I was like, he's about to leap out and just eat this boat, man. I thought that was cool as hell.
Yeah. And I must admit, I know, John, you're a huge kaiju and Godzilla guy and know all the different flavors. Actually, I've been watching a lot of the old stuff because I think it's Shout Studios have them on like a 24-hour stream on YouTube. Yeah. So I drop in occasionally and start watching them. So I'm trying to catch up on the history, but there's been competing versions, which always confuses me.
Yeah, there's with Godzilla, you've got different timelines based on the era. You've got like the Showa era, which is the original, and they're named after the emperor, whatever emperor's reign was going on at the time.
Okay.
So Showa era is the Showa dynasty. The Heisei is the the ones that came out in the 90s, and those are were for that, that came out for that emperor. And then the Millennium's the one they didn't, because it was still they had they were trying to get away from naming it after the reigning emperor. So the ones that came out in the 2000s were the millennials.
Okay.
Those are the millennials. And the current one they went back and named after the current emperor.
Somebody's saying Raiwa.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. D-Bud's saying Raiwa. So I'm trying to catch up on them, but there's so many. But I even the old ones are I love the 60s ones, because they're kind of like James Bond meets Godzilla half the time. It's all secret agent stuff and aliens, and it's great gadgets and secret bases.
To answer Soul Assassin right there, though, black and white film has never gone away. You just don't see them as many these days. The guy that made Nosferatu, his last movie before that was a movie called The Lighthouse of William Dafoe and Robert Patrick. That was really, really good, and it was shot in black and white.
There's been a few. There has been a few over the years that I quite enjoy black and white. I don't know why. I just maybe because I'm
now.
Yeah, I think it just adds a certain lighting tone to it.
Higher contrast too. It's the same concept as a black and white. Like The Walking Dead was a really popular comic book before it was a TV show, and they're all done in black and white. Our good friend Gary does all his comics in black and white. There's no color in it, and it really shows the contrast. You can see things really clear in it.
No, I do love it. Yeah, and it's
the same
also
kind of
I kind of grew up watching black and white movies.
Yeah,
I'm old enough that they were all in black and white.
My brother used to act like we were at the theater cheering when we'd watch Tarantula in the afternoon.
Those 50s sci-fi movies. Yeah, so. So that was probably my second favorite movie. Those two are clearly head and shoulders above most of the others for me. I mean, those are movies that I'll watch again and again now over the years. Everything else was great, but just like a division below. If they were the A pluses, the rest were kind of like A, B plus.
I got a second favorite, but it kind of like John. It's in my wheelhouse. Fall Guy was my second favorite movie of the year.
Enjoy that, yes. I
Fall
thought
Guy's fantastic, and I'm a huge fan of stuntmen. Like I was a big Burt Reynolds fan growing up, and everybody loves Smokey and the Bandit, but my favorite movie he ever made was Hooper, the one about the stuntmen, and the stuff they do. Yeah. And really, when Daniel Craig came into this James Bond series, he kind of that first movie. I'm not saying his movies were great, but that first one, Casino Royale, they decided when they finished up Brosnan that they had leaned too heavy on CGI and stuff. And they went back to real stunts, real stuntmen, and making him a tough guy. And it was just badass, The same reason why we like martial arts movies and stuff. It's real guys doing real shit, It's not CGI.
Practical shit.
And I loved The Fall Guy. It has a fantastic cast, I think what's his name? Andy Taylor Johnson. Is that his name?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yeah. I know him as Kick-Ass. That's what I call him all the time, as Kick-Ass. But
I remember
he was a great villain in that movie. That
John Lennon
actor, and
he played John Lennon once.
And look, I got turned around on Ryan Gosling. I swore up and down I was never going to watch another one of his movies after I was forced to watch The Notebook. You know how it is when
that was your first mistake.
But I watched a movie one time called Drive.
Oh yeah.
Said, what? I'm a fan of this guy now.
I like Gosling. And did you see that clip of him and Russell Crowe at the Australian Movie Awards?
Oh, dude, have you seen the movie they made together? Oh,
well, yeah, but they had a clip just recently. Russell Crowe was presenting something at the Australian Movie Awards.
No, I didn't see
just a few days ago, and Ryan Gosling comes into it. It's quite funny. The two of them have got great chemistry.
Imagine.
He's going, I'm an honorary Australian. I lived in New Zealand for 2 years. Well, that's guaranteed to wind up Australian.
That's good.
That's funny. Really but the two of them, hopefully they'll make a second one of those movies.
That would be great.
The Good Guys or whatever.
What was it called?
The
Good Guys, I think, or
something
like that. I can't remember exactly.
They had good chemistry.
Oh, they do, man. I love The Fall Guy.
Gosling's all right for a Canadian,
Yeah, Is he Canadian?
He's
I didn't know he
Canadian,
was
yeah.
Canadian. Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
You know who he's married to, though?
Mrs. Gosling.
No. Her last name is Menendez. Eva Menendez.
Oh, Eva Menendez,
Yeah,
yes.
man. The chick that's in Ghost Rider.
That's why he looks so tired all the time.
That's it. She's wearing him out, dude.
I think it's probably an appropriate point for me to try and play some kind of commercial break. I have a few things today. Let's see if I can remember which ones are which, just to break things up. Just some funny clips. Let's try this one. Our first commercial break of the day. I got a few of these. I've got to put a line through them when I've played them, though, or I'll never remember. Yeah. There we go. I've played that one. Couple more movies, a few more. Obviously, I was going to get into the Korean stuff someday. The Roundup Punishment.
I just haven't watched it. I need to watch it so I can. It's the next one. It's the latest one in the series. So.
Yeah, so Roundup Punishment's the fourth one in the Roundup series.
Yeah.
And it is, as they say, a return to form, because I didn't particularly enjoy the third one. Different cast, different setting. For anyone who's never seen these, it's the star is Ma Dong-suk, or Don Lee as he's known in Western circles. I think he was in that appalling Eternals movie.
Yeah, he was.
Which is just Korean. My advice to Korean actors: never do Hollywood movies, please, until they fix them. But brilliant cast in this movie. Like the villain here that is a great actor as well. This guy here is really funny. They convince him that he's an FDA agent through the entire movie, and it's just a toy badge they've given him. But kick-ass. Don Lee is a force of nature. We call him the slapper. He goes up and slaps the criminals. He doesn't even punch them half the time. So brilliant cast. A lot of fun. I'll play the trailer for it. If you've never seen the Roundup movies or any Don Lee's movies, the big guy, he's just awesome. Makes some great stuff. Never get punched by him. It would hurt. Yeah, so that was probably, I was so glad because the third one was kind of flat. This one is total return to form. There's definitely going to be a fifth one as well. So it's a series that I'm very pleased he's keeping going. The big guy.
Big guy.
The slapper.
The stuff to watch. It's just I haven't got to it yet.
I'm sure you will, my friend, and you won't be disappointed. It was a lot of fun. Fun movie. The casts, they always get the greatest casts in these Korean things. But the next movie that was in my list of top movies was the other non-Asian movie, and it's the Sabaton movie. So I guess I said English language. It's kind of an English language.
Well, yeah, it is. They sing in English, believe it or not. They do.
Well, they do both, but most of it's in English.
Most of it's in English.
It was. It's not like there's anything to it, generally speaking, other than that it's one concert that was filmed, but it's beautifully filmed. The tour to end all tours, so it's got all the great stage show that they had, the tanks, the guns, the barbed wire, the poison gas, the Red Baron biplane. It's a beautiful document of a tour. And if you love the band, it's... I
just wish they would release it on media or video.
Physical media, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I went to the cinema to see it, and it was a wonderful, wonderful night with a bunch of Sabaton fans in the cinema. It was really good.
It's not on any of the streaming services or anything
no,
like
they
that?
haven't released it yet.
Not yet, but it's a great record of a band at their absolute peak. Hopefully there's more peaks, but a peak at that time. So I enjoyed that immensely. Yes, the Hello Kitty guitar does make an appearance.
Yes.
Unbelievable that a band like this plays Hello Kitty.
Well, just for one
Hello
song.
Kitty guitar. Yeah. It's too funny.
Great movie. Well worth seeing. I really hope they release it in physical media.
Oh, they
soon.
will eventually. You know, that's a niche thing that they're going to make money off of.
Yeah.
You know.
And interestingly enough, they're 2025. They've already got a European tour announced with an orchestra. I would love to see that come over.
I hope they bring it over here, because if they come, I don't care if I got to drive to Denver.
You both went and saw him this year, didn't you?
Chicago,
Live?
I'll see him again.
Yeah, I went to Billings, drove to Billings, 3-day road trip.
Yeah.
I would prefer not to drive to Billings.
Right.
Yeah.
John and I will go to the next one together, wherever it is.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, we'll do that. Maybe get Pope to go too if he wants.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So that was definitely my top 5. Hey, Steve, Maddie's daddy, good to see you, mate. Thanks for being here. Another movie I absolutely loved. And again, I'm kind of cheating a bit because it was released late 2023, but I didn't see it till 2024. Is a Korean movie called 12/12 The Day, which is about the 1979 military coup in South Korea. Kind of appropriate given they've got some problems today.
Hello.
All-star cast, absolutely edge of the seat tension, and it's got these two great actors, Hwang Young-min, who's like possibly my favorite Korean actor, playing the general, the bad general, and then his opponent underneath, who's trying to stop him, is Young Woo-sung, who's another big Korean star, and it's a head-to-head between them, but it's one of the most tense movies I've ever seen, and I'm going to give you a spoiler alert if you ever watch it. Don't expect a happy ending.
Yeah, I had somebody on one of my Facebook feeds the other day asking about movies that didn't have a typical ending. In other words, everything wasn't tied up neat and pretty. And I said, you know what? You need to watch The Departed and To Live and Die in L.A. You need to watch those two movies.
That's right.
I have to assume this one's kind of like that.
This one's, right? I think it's possibly even worse than those.
Wow, really?
And because I wasn't quite aware of the full history of the events of this particular coup, I kept expecting the good guy to win.
Right.
You could say he had a moral victory. It's spoiler alert, because it's based on real life stories, so a real life historical event. So it did turn out that the coup succeeded, and the cabal that did it did run the country for a number of years. But it's a very, very good film.
기원법에 따라 합동수사본부장은 여기 계신 전두광 보안사령
And an all-star cast in Korea.
인간이라는 동물은 아니다. 강력한 누군가가 자기를 리드해 주기를 바란다니까. 아지가 무슨 왕이야, 왕?
전두광 이놈 자식 이대로 두면 안 된다.
극하면 쿠데타야. 그 이왕이면 혁명이라는 멋진 단어를 쓰십시오.
육군 참모총장으로서 군인 이태신에게 임무를 맡기겠습니다.
아이고 이 장군님, 뭐 이런 어려운 시국에 서로 같은 편 하면
대한민국 육군은 다 같은 편입니다.
와, 그렇습니까?
보안사놈들한테 공격받았습니다. 보안사가
시간을 끌면 어떡합니까? 초동 대처가 가장 중요한데. 김일성이 때려주기도 안 내려옵니다. 오늘 밤은 여기가 최전방이야.
열차가 앞만 보고 달리는데 여기 뛰어내릴 사람 있습니까?
너희가 지금 서울로 진입하면 그 즉시 전쟁이야.
놈들 멈출 생각이 없는 것 같습니다.
그래, 사살인마 사살!
오늘 밤 승부처는 누가 먼저 서울로 전투병력을 진입시키는가에 달려있다.
뭐 어떻게 하시려고?
연두광이 잡으러 가야죠.
반란군은 들어라.
공장을 해제하고 저항하라. 쓰라고! 실패하면 반역, 성공하면 혁명 아닙니까?
So it hopefully gives
So
you.
you're saying it's better than Civil War?
It's 9 million times better than Civil War, and I was honestly edge of the seat throughout the entire movie. It's an all-star cast. If you know Korean actors at all, it's got almost every great Korean actor you can get in it.
Yeah,
and it's just this fight between it's a military cabal who want to take over when the current president's shot, and it's like the Skull and Bones thing. They've got a club.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to take over. So
it's
real history. Obviously, some characters are faked and some are changed. And
some of the nonfiction stuff they come out with is really, really good.
But it's a real storming movie. And people in Korea that watched it, they had heart monitors on so they could check their heart rate because it was so like visceral to them, you know. It was and they're coming out of it. The younger people who didn't know the history, like I didn't know it, were coming out of it going, the bad guys won.
What the hell?
Shit. They were like at the end of the movie, they're like, oh my god. So a great movie. It's an awesome movie. And you know what? They probably made that for the equivalent of, I don't know, 20 to 30 million US.
Oh yeah.
And it looks fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
it's got all this military gear moving around, the sets and the uniforms and everything. The cast is great. So I can't recommend that one highly enough. Although it was late last year, late 2023, I put it into this list. And there was a couple of others that I loved this year. Exuma, which is another Korean movie, top grossing Korean movie of the year. It's actually in the top 80 or something in the world. Great supernatural. The Koreans are really good at these creepy supernatural horror films more than the kind of slash. They do some slasher stuff, but this is again a great cast. Choi Min-sik there is hang on. Choi Min-sik is is one of the greatest actors in the world. Fabulous movie. Escape was another great one about a guy trying to get out of North Korea. And another guy equally determined to stop him. Joo Ji-hoon is star of that great movie. And Hijack 1971, another true story of a Korean airliner that was hijacked, and then landing it proves to be a bit of an issue in the end, especially as everyone's shot to hell. But tense movie, good one. Like it a lot. And then the Executioner, that's the guy that was playing the bald general there, Hwang. He's not really bald. Follow up to a film called Veteran from 10 years ago, which is like a cop action thriller. This was a long-awaited sequel. Pretty good. I wouldn't say it was quite as good as I was hoping for, but some great action. So that was kind of my movie list of the year.
Well, I'm going through the movies that I saw, and I really don't have a whole lot that stood out. I mean, like I saw Furiosa. It was okay.
I had no interest.
Yeah,
Mad Max isn't in it. I just
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was pretty good.
Yes, that one actually was pretty good. Hey, Gary.
Oh, Gary, hello, Gary. The stream just got more masculine.
I'm just taking my Metamucil. What's going on? I was calling for a sex line. What's going on here?
Well, I
swiped right.
Wait, hold that thought, because it's just before we talk to you. I have another commercial break.
Okay.
Next year, we'll be celebrating our 35th wedding anniversary, won't we, darling?
More champagne?
Oh, thank you.
I know.
Have I met you before?
I don't think so.
I'm sure I have. Your face is very familiar.
I don't know.
I've definitely seen you someplace before.
I really don't think so.
Darling, I don't think you know the man.
I never forget a face. Come on. Where do I know you from?
I do a lot of hardcore gay movies.
So that one's for you, Gary.
I watched that previously, like yesterday, and first time I ever saw it, and I was just cracking up laughing, like, I'm not you from somewhere, man.
Sure, I know you somewhere. Yes. So, how are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Just ended date night with Anima, and thought I'd come over here and see what was going on.
That's right. She'll be talking to me later with a real date night.
Real date night.
I'm just kidding. So I did have something I wanted to show on screen. My God, producing these shows is tough, isn't it? Oh, here we go. You sent me this earlier for a future.
Oh,
show.
that. Yeah.
So I need you to share it. I need you to share it.
This time I'm in outer space. I got to tell you, dude, I love using Grok. I love the thumbnails I'm getting by using Grok on these movies.
Yeah, it's good.
Did you see the one I did for in Bruges?
I didn't. Well, I maybe did. I don't recall. In Bruges.
If you haven't seen it yet, let me get it for you. I'll send it to you in the private chat.
I wish I'd kept that clip I've got of maybe it's in my list here. It's just we're going to tip into the culture of Colin Farrell. I bet it tips over into the culture right, because he doesn't want any culture. Oh, here it is.
I believe, Ken, that the balance shall tip in the favor of culture.
These new films.
Yeah, In Bruges, great movie. But so when are you doing Outland?
Outland's this Wednesday.
This Wednesday. I'll try and drop in then.
High Noon in Space. What's up?
I got a ton of materials.
It is.
Yep. I have a ton of materials from when I did it. If you need any clips and stuff. But.
I'm also sending you. We're going to be doing Escape from LA because I said, "Fuck it, let's do it." I'm not that big a fan of it.
I've never seen it. I saw the trailer for it and said no.
It has its merits, but
it's not a sequel. It's not a remake. What did he call it? Hold on, because Martin came up with the name. It's that's it. It's not a sequel. It's not a remake. It's a requel.
A requel. Yeah, there you go.
That's U-Haul should use it as their U-Haul should use it as their trailer. U-Haul, they're shipping so many people out of LA.
Trailer.
Anyway, so
new trailer.
yeah. So, this is a trailer. Haha. Double. I made a double joke there, and I didn't even
double
know.
Haha.
So Gary, we've been running through our favorite movies. What would you say was your number one favorite movie of last year?
Blade Runner.
Okay, we don't care, so we're moving on.
This one from the 80s, Blade Runner.
Number two.
You mean one that was actually released in 2024?
Oh, in 2024? Absolutely. Right now, top film of last year for me is Nosferatu.
All right, I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet either. Yeah, I haven't been able to get out.
And did you see the original? Because this is the sequel. Did you see Nosferatu? Because this is Nosferatu.
Yeah, Nosferatu. Yeah, Nosferatu.
So was Nosferatu good?
Nosferatu was really good.
This is Nosferatu. This time it's personal. Die harder.
Oh, die harder. So I see John's here too. Hi, John.
Yeah. Hello.
We've got 3/4 of a pop culture minefield show.
Look out!
Yeah, I know what is going on here.
Yeah.
So
I just I didn't go to work today because the weather. We were
same with Brad. He got stuck here today because of the weather.
So, as Davina says, Escape from New York. Sorry, Nosferatu, Electric Boogaloo.
That's it.
Nosferatu, Electric Boogaloo. Davina Duckworth. That's good.
Davina, we love you. So yeah,
and yes, Escape from New York's outstanding. It's one of my favorite films. Well, my top 5 films, right, of all time.
Yeah, I know, but we're only talking about 2024. I ran through a few, and most of them you wouldn't know because they're.
What was your favorite for 2024?
Oh, easy. Twilight of the Warriors, Walden, Hong Kong action movie, undoubtedly the best movie of the year.
Which reminds me, I've got 2 teachers, one from jiu-jitsu and one that's a master of Kaju Kimbo. and they're going to join me either once or twice a month to do Kung Fu fighting theater, and I want you to be part of that. It'll be in the afternoon, evening.
You know, everybody's Kung Fu fighting. They were fast as lightning, and it was a little bit frightening.
It was a little bit frightening.
Everybody was Kung Fu.
Because they did it with expert timing, damn it.
They did it with expert timing. In fact, we should probably talk about this movie then. This is Kung Fu
my God,
movie.
yes. And Brandon Lee is in it. It was just like one of those guys actually knows martial arts. Which one?
I picked that up on VHS for like at 99 cents or something.
David Carradine's Kung Fu.
Yeah, right. Limp wristed as he can be. Yeah.
So fucking funny.
Grasshopper.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so we were working our way through some movies, and we were just about to move on to TV. If you're open to that. Now, before we move on to that, I do want to say, everybody, Gary has got. Now, is the album actually out yet for purchase?
No, see, you can sample on that page and listen to samples. Right. But CD Baby, they're not fast, and they're who's releasing the album. And it's immediately when it's released, it goes to iTunes and all your major services. So the album will be available everywhere. It's just I keep waiting for that email to come to me. It's like, hey, mate, your songs are out. Good going, mate. Hope you make some money.
Get the link to the samples because I think
let me get it for you.
No, I got it right. So I'm gonna
I think it's cohensghost.herenow.com. I think
I'm gonna paste that in the chat to your Twitter link where you've talked about the samples. I've just pasted that. So everybody go check that out. Cohen's Ghost is the pseudonym, the moniker.
It's my first album in 14 and a half years.
I was fixing to say it's been a long time, right?
Yeah. So
the last one was released towards the end of the 2010s, and I got to tell you, man, I was frustrated by making my first two albums because I hate my voice, and so I finally hit a period where I could finally make music the way I wanted to make it.
Yeah. So that I'm going to do a review of it, but also want to do you and I are going to get together and do a video and talk about it too. So I can in effect interview you.
And in fact, we can use those short because that sample page has short cuts of the song.
Yeah.
You so play a sample of them, and then we can talk about each song. What you like,
and that's a lot easier to produce. So yeah, I'll get you offline and we'll plan a get together to do that.
Oh, I'd love that, man.
Yeah.
So you were like the number one. I told you in a private message, you were the number one person I sent it to that I wanted to get reactions from.
But I mean, I never imagined for a minute you'd do an album of Mongolian nose flute music. So
somebody has to do it. I don't understand why it's not a hit. People, it's like, look, they get freaked out because yes, there's a lot of mucus involved and you can hear it. With every note, there's a bit of a gurgle here and there, but nose flute is amazing.
I think though, if you could have trimmed the nose hairs a bit, it may have helped.
I need those. It helps, catch the mucus and keep it from going into the nose flute.
Yeah. So look out, everybody, for me and Gary talking about Cohen's Ghost in the next couple of weeks and playing some clips from that. And obviously,
I'll be putting another album out this year, probably around summer. It'll be the rock album. A lot of hard rock.
Davina, mic'd so closely you can almost taste it.
Where's it? I didn't see it.
I didn't highlight it.
I like
the wrong page to highlight it. So before we move on to TV of the year, I'm going to play another clip, an amusing clip for us all.
Netflix is special kind of
So,
stupid.
so that boat is now still going somewhere.
Somewhere in the South Pacific, that boat is still going. That's too
It's
funny.
well worth watching that one all the way through. You think at first, oh yeah, this is
Oh,
cool.
John forgot to mute his mic.
Yeah, John's talking to his dealer.
His woman he loves so much. Might want to mic it.
What do you mean it's $20 today?
They might set up some dirty sex. We could hear everything, John.
So there you go. That was a little funny.
I thought I muted it. Sorry.
No problem.
I'm going to have to try and gather more of these clips for future shows.
Dude, that one was great.
Funny. I've got more. But anyway, TV. Let's move on.
I'm
to
like,
TV.
did they stage that? I'm just so freaked out.
Oh, probably. There's probably somebody filming it on it. But
yeah, this is on my list.
Right. So I would say, on balance, there was a couple of shows I loved, but Shogun was probably my number one.
That one cleaned up the acting and television limited series awards last night at the Golden Globes. There was 3 acting awards it got. The main guy, right, that brings it, that's housing the American, that fella right there.
Yeah.
His rival and the chick that played his daughter in it all got acting awards, and it was picked as the
Wasn't
best.
his daughter, of course. She was
Well, you know, the love interest for the American.
Yeah, she was his vassal, as it were.
Yeah, I haven't finished the show myself, but I definitely want to. It's just something my wife didn't get into, and if she doesn't get into it, I don't end up using the television too much for it. So
this guy was good, Buntaro.
Yes. Yeah.
This actor, I've seen him in a number of movies. He's brilliant, a brilliant actor. Played Genghis Khan in a movie a few years ago, and he was absolutely superb. Yeah. So it was. I mean, generally speaking, I'm a big fan of James Clavell. He's one of my most formative experiences.
His historical novels were amazing. Taipan. The book is so much better than the film.
Yeah,
and I love Brian Brown.
Yeah, Brian Brown. FX, you did that the other day.
Yep.
You did FX the other day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So Shogun.
The guy they have playing Richard Chamberlain's part is just horrible.
Yeah, Dick Chamberlain.
I wish they hadn't put lenses on his eyes. That was the only thing that bugged me about him.
Yeah, but generally speaking, apart from a couple of quibbles I had, it was exceptionally well done. It looked great. The action was fantastic. It did stick reasonably well to the book, other than one or two things. And the things they changed, I think, were worth changing for dramatic narrative purposes. So I think on the whole, it was a triumph, and it wasn't too westernized.
I remember your main concern when you first saw the trailer for it. I remember your main concern was that it was going to be a girl bossing, and
absolutely
it didn't end up being that way.
It seems to be the trend now to keep doing that shit.
Yeah,
but absolutely, I love this series. I was joining everybody, including Zax, to talk about this show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it generally lived up to my expectations, and I am disturbed that they're talking about making a sequel when there's no novel.
There's nothing to go off.
Yeah,
exactly.
They can mine history, but there's no novel.
That's the only way to do it, is if you mine history, and that doesn't mean put landmines. It means to actually go mining for
and
historical.
that doesn't mean the right.
Hello, yeah. Let's not blow it up, right?
But it was
the next one takes place in space.
Yeah, John. Sorry, John. What were you going to say?
Shogun X.
From what I read about what they're doing for the sequel is there's a lot of unused characters from the book that they're going to use.
Yeah, they could do some stuff with a spin-off with the Madam and the tea house stuff and the.
Well, I wouldn't do a spin-off, but I agree with you. They could create another series that based off of the impact of
we
what
could have
happened
had more about Rodriguez and the Jesuits in the port that they're allowed to be in.
Because they were barely in it, dude.
Yeah, they were pretty quiet in it. Yeah, but generally speaking,
because you know that Shogun outlawed Catholics, right?
It was what we used to call must-see television.
Yes,
on
NBC. That's right.
We don't get that much now. This was that. For me, it was. I could not wait to the next one, and that's so rare now.
Like I said, this is one I'm going to have to finish at work or something because my wife just didn't get into it.
Yeah, it's
Brian. I think that the fate of the Catholic Church would be another way I would go if you do a sequel series, because this Shogun is the one who outlawed Catholicism and Christianity.
Yes,
in Japan. He did it in a handful of years,
whilst using them to his own benefit when he could.
For trade.
Yeah.
But once he locked into trade, he didn't have to deal with the Catholic Church anymore. He had their own trade lines. It's brilliant what he did.
I would prefer, rather than a sequel, and I know they want a sequel because they want to keep it in Japan, I would prefer to have a great version of another James Clavell. I mean, we've had a couple of
like Taipan.
I'd like a great Taipan. Like a really good Taipan would be.
They tried so hard with Brian Brown's version.
Yeah.
That was what's her name's first movie, De Laurentiis' daughter.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it
just blew up on him.
It needs a good version. Taipan is a brilliant novel, and Noble House, which of course Pierce Brosnan did. They did it back in the 80s. I'd love another great version of that.
Wait a minute, I don't remember that.
There's a Pierce Brosnan Noble House.
Was it made for TV?
Yeah, it was made for TV.
What year?
Oh, I don't know, 80s.
Probably around the time he was on Remington Steele, I would imagine.
89, I think.
Yeah, Noble House. They did it was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was standard broadcast television quality, as opposed to something like cable, like FX can do. 1988. Pierce Brosnan starred in it. John Rhys Davies was in it. John Rhys Davies was in it. John Rhys Davies was in it, not playing a dwarf or an Indian guy or an Arab.
And he wasn't playing the character he played from. He was the Portuguese.
Yeah, and Gordon Jackson, the great Scottish actor, Gordon Jackson.
Spaniard.
Gordon Jackson from The Professionals, great British television show, if you've ever seen it.
Wait, I did see this.
Yes. NBC.
Wow.
I was fixing to say he was under contract with
you just caused
NBC back then. So.
Yeah. And it was a De Laurentiis as well.
My brain. You made my brain.
And it was okay.
I really did.
But I'd like to see a new version, maybe like an 8-episode cable version of it, with because it's a story of intrigue, spying, commercial intrigue, tensions between all different races and groups. It's a fabulous story.
Oh, I'm going to go back and revisit this, dude.
Yeah, so a good Noble House or a good Taipan would be fantastic. But they won't do that because they're going to milk the Japanese thing now that they've had Shogun. So,
and you know why Clavell wrote it, right?
He was broke and he needed the money.
he was broke in. He had a bad experience in World War II in the Pacific.
Oh, yeah. Well,
in order to get over his hatred of the Japanese.
King Rat, that was his first novel. It was kind of like his own story. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fascinating what he went through and how he conquered his hatred.
Great writer, one of my absolute favorite writers.
Right there with you, man. Right there.
Yeah, I've read Shogun about 8 times. I just pick it up and I can't stop when I'm reading it. It's just that.
There's something to be said about this, because I brought this up to Anima the other day. One book, I didn't want to put it down. It was a thick book by what's his name, Clive Barker, and it's called Weave World. And I got
it's about Culture Casino. Weave World.
Weave. I love you, Culture. He's just kidding, man.
We all love you, Culture. We love you. Culture's a great dude. I owe him a breakfast.
I love it when I hop on a show with him. He goes, Geary. He does it like that. It's like I love the way he does that.
He spells it with yeah.
When you get a book like that, Weave World was that book that I was going to read from beginning to end. And I got to about 3/4 of the way through it, and there is a scene that happens with these 2 fucking demonic witches that was so disturbing, Brian. I closed that fucking book and I couldn't even sleep. I'm like, I can't read any more of that. I had like nightmares about that scene. Clive Barker's a nasty bastard.
Yeah, he's crazy, man. His books are 10 times worse than the
he's like
movies
H.P. Lovecraft to me.
Yeah.
He gets into your head. Stephen King does this visceral, on the surface shit. Clive Barker gets in there and digs into you, and
he's one of the all-time greats. Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think of this? I've always said that Stephen King is a writer. Dean R. Koontz is an author, and Clive Barker is a poet of horror.
Yeah.
Like somewhere between H.P. Lovecraft and Edgar Allan Poe. He's right in that area.
Stephen King is the Taylor Swift of horror writers.
I wish his ass looked good.
I agree with that entirely. So I want to talk about more of my favorite TV shows because fuck it, it's my show. But before then, let's have an oldie but a goodie. I grew up watching this lady and this show. This is a funny clip.
You'll make me play another one, Rob.
I promise. Just finish this one.
Just this one?
My word. I want to see you get out of this.
All right. I believe that finishes the game, Mr. Petrie.
Mary Tyler Moore, she actually
Do you know the story? She wasn't supposed to.
No, she wasn't.
They had a real player in the background to do it.
They were going to cut away, and she did it. And that's his Dick Van Dyke there, actually.
I love that. I love that show too.
Mary Tyler, Dick Van Dyke show, then Mary Tyler Moore, and all these other shows. But yeah,
you remember the Walnut Nightmare episode?
I do.
Yes. That one stuck with me for years because it scared the crap out of me.
Black and white as well. They're all in black and white. I grew up with that stuff. That was I love that so much. Anyway, some more of my favorite TV shows. No surprise that they're all Korean, almost all Korean. There's a show called Light Shop that I saw just towards the end of the year. Now, this is another example of Disney Plus making great Korean shows whilst they're making slop in America. All their Korean output is fantastic. And this is a show that
different production crews is why.
Oh, well, they use Korean studios, obviously. Light Shop it's from a guy, it's a show, I've talked about it many times. I did a video about it, a show called Moving, which is a guy called Kang Pool. And he made this show called Moving, and it was about kids with superpowers, and their parents had them too. And
you told me about this one.
Yeah, they're trying to protect their children from intelligence agencies, and they all used to be part of these. It's just one of the greatest shows I've seen in years, and it's so full of family and emotion and heart. But it's kick-ass action too. It's got some of the most brutal action as well. This is set in the same universe as Moving, but it's about like people between life and death. And this little light shop that's at the end of this dark alley that these people can't seem to get out of. And there's people there that were in accidents and in the ICU. And there's people that might already have chosen to stay there instead of passing on. So it's about all these little stories, and it's kind of creepy in places, but I wouldn't really say it was a horror thing. It's a fabulous, fabulous show by this great writer. And it does tie in to Moving with some cameos at the end, and a show called, or a web comic he wrote called Timing.
Is there action and special effects in it?
This one has got not so much action. Moving has some of the greatest action I've seen in years in a TV show. There's a whole episode with a guy whose power is that he can take punishment. He basically has to fight about 500 guys and run through this town trying to get away from them, crashing trucks into them and all sorts. It's just one of the greatest scenes of episodes of TV I've ever seen. But this is more subtle. So there's a lot of creepy stuff. These people don't know they're dead, a lot of them, or dying. And they're going to this light shop, and everyone's got a bulb in there that's theirs, whatever. So it's about this threshold between life and death. But he ties it into his other properties that he's doing. Eventually, I think they'll all come together. So I do want to show the trailer from it. It's a very subtle but warm show. It's about human. He writes the human stories so well, this guy, which is hard to do, you know. I mean, it's normally it's all effects or whatever. This guy writes real stories that are very impactful.
밤이 되면 다양한 사람들이 찾아와. 어떻게 오셨습니까? 어딘가 이상한 사람들이 있어. 낯선 사람들.
낯선 사람들이요? 힘드시겠다. 그래도 저는 얼마나 다행인지 몰라요.
뭐가?
여기가 밝아서요. 그리고 아저씨가 여기 계셔서요.
어쩌면 그 의지라는 게 혼자만의 것은 아닐 수도 있지 않을까요?
그래서 여기가 어디입니까?
어디든 사람 사는 세상 아니겠어요?
So it's a beautiful story with lots of threads in it that all come together eventually. But certainly for me, I mean, Moving was so good. I mean, I can't recommend Moving highly enough. In fact, I did do a video about it, and I've played some clips of Ryosu Young in it, who's the big guy that they try hundreds of gangsters trying to kill him, and he eventually beats them all. It's just, you know, that scene in Punisher where he fights everyone in the corridor?
Yeah.
Well, Moving has got a scene like that, except it's 20 minutes longer.
Oh, you're talking about Daredevil. That's what
Daredevil. Sorry, Daredevil. Yeah,
the one that's done in
Punisher,
one shot, and in the when he goes after the kid.
Punisher does it too. It's just in the hallway of the prison.
Yeah. So light show, beautiful show, and I can't wait to see how he ties it into the other properties he does, because he had cameos at the end from that. He's just such a great writer. The Kang Pool's the guy's name. Fantastic writer. If I only learned to read Korean, I can say words. I can say Annyeong Haseo.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Stop adding stuff to my my watch list.
Right, you're
That's what he does, though,
Moving.
John. He just makes you interested in stuff, and you're like, "Oh man, my to-do list was already full. Now I got more stuff to add to it."
So,
what was that Korean film you were talking to me about the other day?
Whoops! There go my bloomers.
It was a war film.
Oh, My Way. My Way.
Yeah, that one.
About the two Japanese, the Japanese and Korean guy. They end up fighting for the Japanese, the Russians, and the Germans. Brilliant.
Yeah, I watched that film when it came out, and from Blockbuster. What a film!
What a impactful film. Yeah. So anyway, go check my video. Self-promotion. Check my video on Moving out. I'm not kidding. This is one of the best TV shows ever made. And it's got some of the greatest stuff. But the core of it, despite the effects and the fighting and the action, is family. Family is the core, and protecting your family. Not something you'll get a lot of in Western properties now, you know.
No, they would take that exact same story and ruin it if they made it for us.
They'd ruin it, make the good guys the bad guys, whatever. Yeah, so Moving is great. Another show I absolutely loved. We know the Koreans do such great period pieces like Joseon. There's always a ton of shows about the Joseon era. My Dearest was out at the start of the year. Nam Kum King is the star. It's if you've ever seen Mr. Sunshine, which is another show I rave about, it's very similar. It's got a romance element, but it's got action, it's got intrigue, it's got spying, it's got martial arts, and it's a sort of an epic tale of this couple separated by war. There's the Chinese dynasties are warring, and they don't know which side to pick because both sides want them to side with them. Beautifully filmed. Cinematography is absolutely brilliant. Characterizations are great.
Actually,
not just a romance.
That looks
a lot
pretty.
more.
Yeah.
It's very pretty. Yeah, they know how to make those Joseon era things so well.
They've also really evolved when it comes to making soundtracks.
Oh God, the soundtracks in these are great. Like My Mister, one of my favorite shows is My Mister, Korean show. The soundtrack, I listen to it all the time. It's beautiful. No, they've upped their game incredibly.
Absolutely, because back in the old days, I mean, you just get. It's almost like they weren't sure exactly how to do orchestral music in cinema.
The action that's in it.
Right.
There's a lot of sword action, whatever. So that's a great show. I absolutely loved. It's I think Mr. Sunshine is still just slightly better, but this one's another great historical epic. There was a few more I liked. I won't beat it to death. Death's Game was a great show. The trick in this one being that the guy commits suicide, but the woman is basically playing unknown deity and keeps bringing him back to life in the bodies of other people.
I watched this
to teach him a lesson. Yes.
You got me to watch this. I loved it.
It's great, and it's got a lot of great cameos, but he keeps waking up in the bodies of other people, knowing they're going to die and trying to figure out how to avoid it. And of course, he never can until the end when it all, why is this happening, gets resolved, you know. Fabulous, very clever show. Again, brilliantly filmed. The standards are so high with cinematography and story in these. I think I do have a little clip of this, actually. Here we go.
넌 앞으로 12번 죽게 된다. 그리고 어떤 몸으로 깨어나도 무조건 죽게 된다.
뭐야 이 얼굴? 내 얼굴이 아니잖아.
잘리고 썰리고 진기고 태워지고 그렇게 죽음이 얼마나 고통스러운 건지 느껴봐.
What's funny is that the deaths all interlink eventually. So, like, the guy falling out the plane lands on top of somebody and kills him.
Oh, man.
It's hilarious the way they tie together.
Interesting twist on Final Destination.
It is. There's some great again. The actors.
Well, that's the thing I like about it. That's different from that. Is that death is an energy in the film, whereas this is actually somebody doing it. So a woman playing death. It's great.
The way she treats him in the scenes between the deaths is hilarious. She shoots him in the head to send him back to the next. It's every time she picks the gun up, he goes, "Oh no!" It's a lovely show. It's very clever, with such great cameos. Everybody he plays is somebody that's been, quite a well-known actor and doing other stuff. But and then another one I just watched recently, which I absolutely loved as well, is called Gangnam B-Side, which is a sort of a cop crime thriller set in Gangnam amongst all the clubs, the nightclubs, and the rich people. And there's basically a cop and a
team Gangnam style.
Yes, kind of.
You beat me to it, Gary. I was about to do
the
it.
cop and this guy's a cop and this guy's a pimp, and they team up. He's a pimp, but he hates drug dealers because they try to get to his girls. And he's really only a pimp to protect them. He doesn't really want to be. So they team up to take down the drug dealers. Some brutal action in it. Again,
Kind of reminds me of that movie, the Korean film with the serial killer and the cop pimp storyline.
There's a few of those.
Is that The Devil? Meet the Devil or some shit like that. It was a really good film.
I Saw the Devil.
I saw the devil.
Yeah, that's similar. But Gangnam B-Side, it's I don't think it's on a streaming service here. It's I think it might even be. It's a Disney Plus. Sorry, yeah, it's a Disney Plus. But this guy Jo Woo-jin that's on the left is been in a lot of films as a supporting actor and TV shows as a supporting actor. This is one of his first leads, even though he's been around for 20 years, and he is wonderful. The other guy, Ji Chang-wook, normally plays kind of romantic roles, but I love him in this because every scene he's in, he's beaten up. There's like scars and blood. He's bandaged up in every scene, and it's a really neat. They do such great crime thrillers, Fabulous show. Oh, there he is in another show he did, which I loved, called Welcome to Samdal-ri. This one's a romantic comedy. So it's the same guy playing the pimp that plays this role here. Anyway, these were some of my favorites. Actually, I may have, bear with me, I have a trailer for Gangnam B-side. Just want to show you that.
제니라고 어마어마하다대요.
Some hot girls in this one, by the way. All hot girls.
Who ain't down with hot girls? Look out.
제니한테 있으니까 강남 바닥 죄다 뒤져서라도 무조건 찾아와.
너네들은 왜 이렇게 쟤를 찾는 건데?
난 승진의 민건 미친 애.
건들면 안 된다고 얘기.
누구야? 네 위에. 나는.
나한테 쏘는 거 같아.
쟤만 마무리되면 네가 원하는.
That guy always plays a villain. That guy.
없어져야 되니까 쟤랑 쟤가 가지고 있는 거.
네가 낀 판이 아니라고.
우리 절대 여기 못 벗어나.
우리한테 관심 끄고 적당히 조용히 살아.
너 여기 들어온 진짜 멋진 거야.
니들은 그냥 니들 방식대로 계속 그게 나는 내 방식대로 할 거니까.
우리끼리 조용히 팀플레이 하기 좋잖아.
그 더러운 커넥션 전부 세상에 흘러낼 겁니다.
찾아야지 우리 애들 건드릴게.
So yeah, well worth watching that one. And yeah, what can I say? Just that was some of my favorite Korean shows. As I say, the other one was a really nice romantic comedy starring the same guy called Welcome to Samdal-ri, which was sweet, very sweet, set in the island of Jeju. This one was pretty good. Dong Jae, the good or the bastard, playing a prosecutor who wants to be good, but is tempted all the time to do the wrong thing because he wants.
That sounds like Rake.
It is. It's very similar. And this guy's it was a spin-off from a show called Stranger, which was really good. And then Chief Detective 1958, which is a nice period piece set in the 50s in Seoul, where things were a lot poorer there than they are today. So and then Squid Game 2. So I thought it was good. It wasn't like lights out the greatest thing I'd ever seen, but part of the problem with that is it's half a season. Like I enjoyed it.
What's all this shit? As you would say, controversy or whatever. It's controversy. I heard there's controversy over theft of the story or some shit this year.
I don't know so much about that, but for me, the main problems were that it's half a season, so 7 episodes, and it spent too much time on Lee Young-ye's character having an armed shootout with the people running the game rather than the games themselves. So a lot of it is back to, you've lost the surprise element of the show because it was the first one was so quirky and all about the games. Yes, the games are in this, but now it's more about him trying to take down the people behind the game. So it's more of a standard action crime thriller as opposed to the quirky thing, sort of genre, almost science fiction-y feel to the first one, you know. Now that may change in the third part, but I really don't like splitting it in two. For me,
well, they did the same thing with Stranger Things and other shows. Yeah. They drop the first half of the season, then give it a break, and then a month or two later they drop the second part of the season.
Yeah, Yellowstone's last season did that too. Yeah.
So they are talking about, I mean, they did leak that this is the third part's going to be out in June, so you're not going to have to wait till next December. But really, without the third part, the second part felt unfulfilled, in my opinion.
Did it end with a cliffhanger or just end?
Yeah, it's a cliffhanger.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of a cliffhanger, but then, like, well, spoiler alert, he tries to take out the front man with an armed revolt within the game, and he fails. So that's where it ends. So the game will continue, and all that's been crushed. He shows how his character's very naive. Every time, every turn, the people running the game are smarter, well organized, and heavily armed, and they just crush every attempt he's made to get behind the scenes with them. So
I heard that they made a massive change, that they took the giant girl and put her outside, and now there's a boy that controls the game.
Tiny little clip at the end showed the big girl in the red light, green light game, which is the
Right.
one where they have to stop when she turns or they get shot. And they showed a boy one. So there's 3 players in front of it.
So they haven't even delivered it yet. I put
No.
in the private chat, by the way. It claims Journal online magazine Netflix Squid Game is a ripoff of a 2009 film, lawsuit says. And I remember seeing it back in the fall, and I haven't heard anything about the lawsuit. I'm hoping they just settle and move on.
You get this a lot, though. I mean, and there's always going to be similarities and things. I mean, you could say Alice in Borderland's got similarities to Squid Game, and there's other things that have been like it in the past where people have been trapped in weird places. I don't see that as an issue myself, although I've not seen the thing you're talking about. I
shared it with you. It's in the chat if you want to look at it.
I'm saving it right now so I can look at it later.
Just felt that, like, I did want to keep watching it again each episode, but I thought I could see where it was going at times. Well, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. I did like the fact that Lee Byung-hun, who's a brilliant actor and plays the front man, got more screen time in this one. That's good because he's a heavyweight actor. And I loved the first episode the best, which had Gong Yu playing the recruiter, and you got to see a lot more of his character, and the Russian roulette stuff at the end of that was brilliant.
So what do the recruiters do?
Well,
they just go out and find these people that are at the bottom of their rope and play. What's the name of the game they play with them? The one where they have to hit the envelope.
They have to hit the envelope and it has to flip. So he goes on like platforms of train stations looking for homeless people, or goes to where the homeless people are and entices them to take part in this game.
Interesting.
And there's a whole sequence in that first episode where he goes to the park where the homeless people are, and he offers them food or a lottery ticket.
Yeah, that was interesting this year. Yeah, that was
and they usually took the lottery ticket.
Most
and
of them took the lottery ticket.
At the end, he goes nuts at them because I offered you food, and you greedy bastards. Took the,
See, what's funny is I watched it this year. I didn't watch it when it first came out because it's a foreign film, and I just can't keep up with the subtitles. But I didn't know this one was dubbed. But I work at a gambling rehab, and I can tell you this: every bit of the way these people act is exactly how a compulsive gambler would act. Yeah, they would stick with this
very much so. Yeah.
Yes.
So the social experiment part of the show is big,
Yeah,
and it is ultimately the writer wants it to be a battle about rich against poor, but the social experiment inside the games, with people turning on each other and people, it's quite interesting. I enjoyed it. I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more if they just dropped all 14 episodes at once and called it a season 2. I don't think they even needed a season 2 though. So
no,
it was fine.
I don't think they did either.
2 quick mentions. One of the few English language shows I like, The Lincoln Lawyer, season 3 was on Netflix. Great show.
I love this show. Paulie and I have been talking because we talked about the season 1, and I watched season 2. He hasn't finished it yet. And I'm like, come on, dude, finish it.
Oh, finish it.
So we can talk about the
3
show.
is great. 3 is a great season.
Oh my God, it was the best season.
Yeah. This guy's really good. I know he's getting the next Jurassic Park movie and a couple of other things. They keep offering Pedro Pascal roles. This guy should be getting.
Fuck that guy. He's
this
the actor.
guy's the guy. Yeah, he's really good. And then Japanese show, Netflix show, Tokyo Swindlers. Check that out. It was a lot of fun. That was a good show about people scamming people out of their land in Tokyo. It's quite an interesting show. And that was everything I could think of. So for TV, what about you guys? Anything I missed that you love?
Landman. Landman is the best show on TV.
Oh my
right
God,
now.
Landman is great.
Enjoying
I
the
made
shit
a
out of
list of the shows that I have, and Landman is one of them. Absolutely. Teacup, I enjoyed.
Teacup,
I enjoyed it. Based on a book written in the 80s. Paris Has Fallen, I thought was going to be garbage. I actually, girl boss garbage. I ended up liking this show. It's French. The Penguin was so fucking good.
The Penguin is on my list too, Gary. That one was awesome. It really was.
And you know what? Guilty pleasure. I fucking love the franchise.
The franchise.
I haven't
checked that out
there.
yet. Isn't that the one where they make fun of the MCU, kind of?
Yes,
I Saw the Devil.
They have 3 actors from the Marvel Universe in it.
Wow.
That is a great fucking movie right there.
Choi Min-sik and Lee Byung-hun.
I showed Anima the trailer for it, and she was not interested. She's like, not my kind of movie.
But the franchise is good, huh, man? I saw.
I laughed my butt off.
I bet you that's a riot.
And of course, Shogun's on my list too.
Nobody's mentioned the absolute best movie or best TV show of the year.
What's that?
Fallout.
You know, believe
you guys that played Fallout enjoy it more than I did. I enjoyed it. It's on my top 5 list for sure.
I never watched it yet. It's sitting on my list, and I keep meaning
you got to get on it, Brian. Watch that damn thing. It's fun.
It is.
What I find though is Silo is better. It's the same kind of thematic story, but it's a dramatic one, not comedy, action. It's I like both shows. They both deal with the same fucking thing. But I think Silo blew me away. I wasn't expecting. I figured it'd be another girl boss.
Tangentially, they deal with the same.
But
thing.
Rebecca Ferguson impressed me with her,
like
some
her,
of the shit she's done, and she's pretty much the star of the show.
I love the ghoul in Fallout. I don't know.
Goddamn right.
Goggins.
He is awesome.
Goggins is so good.
Yes.
I put his character right up there with Eagly as one of my favorite TV characters. Because Eagly, easily one of my favorite characters ever made.
The two best characters I've seen on TV this year are Billy Bob Thornton's character in Landman and
Jesus
the
Christ.
ghoul in Fallout.
Did you see that opening scene, Brian, from that show?
I haven't seen Landman yet.
He's got the show opens. He's held hostage. He's got a burlap sack over his fucking head. They're beating the shit out of him, and he owns these guys.
Yeah, he basically tells them how this is going to end up.
This is cartel,
and they're beating the shit out of him with guns on him, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Look, you're not going to kill me," you know. And he tells them why, and it
You
all
kill
ends
me,
up just the
you're
way he
going to have
says.
Navy SEALs. A war will be declared on you if I die. And just scares the shit out of these guys.
Yeah.
They act like they're not scared, but he scared them because they walked the fuck away. They signed the contract, walked away. First 10 fucking minutes of that show, I was sold.
Yeah, and you definitely, I think everybody in America, wouldn't you agree, Gary, needs to hear his little spiel about the oil business. Oh my God.
Goes after the Green Party and their bullshit.
Oh yeah, it's so much stuff is dependent on petroleum. You guys wouldn't believe, and wow, it's amazing. It's a really good show.
Okay,
See, the whole deal is this: when Taylor Sheridan did the first prequel for Yellowstone, it's called 1883. Have you seen it, Gary?
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. And it shows how brutal the old West was. That's one thing I love about
dark.
it.
They'll never have another
It's a very
season.
dark show.
But 1823 is different.
Yeah, it is different. Yeah, absolutely.
And I
can't
love
wait
that
for
show.
February to watch the second season of that. Yeah.
Got the new season coming.
But
Harrison Ford on television, we are in a lifetime. My God, one of the biggest fucking action stars of the 80s is now a TV star on two shows that Anima and I watch religiously, which is 1923, and he's also on Shrinking. And that show, it's not a 2024 series. That's season 2. It was a 2023 series. If you've not seen that show, watch
I've
it.
often wondered, when people watch things religiously, do they watch it like this on their hands and knees?
That's it. We're glued to the set, man. But what I was going to say about Billy Bob is he plays a sheriff in 1883 that's just brutal.
That's right. He's brutal. Yeah.
And that's when him and Taylor Sheridan met, and he loved the guy so much that he wrote this part just specifically for Billy Bob Thornton to play. Yeah, it's awesome. It's really good.
No. Anyway, in the spirit of moving on, I don't normally like to talk about these. These are dangerous topics to talk about on YouTube, but there are some side effects to the vax which I think we need to talk about. Now, I may have
put this in a text.
I may have considered getting it if I'd known this was going to happen.
A G cup? Triple G cup?
Holy God. I didn't even know there was such a thing.
So you know what sucks about it is They got giant boobs, but little tiny nipples.
Right. So, I'm not trying to make any kind of political statement. Just, there are some unexpected effects. Oh, that was another thing about the Gangnam B-side show that I talked about, the Korean show. Big Pharma were the villains.
Oh, my
I thought
God.
that was funny.
I like that.
They were
I'm all for
pushing
that.
all the drugs. Big Pharma. It was great. Time for another little break. Marco is the
Buddy, he
smartest
owed him
guy
anyway.
on the planet. Well done, Marco. Nice one.
With friends like that.
With friends like that, yeah. So I had a couple of other things I was gonna talk about. Just that was TV and movies. I didn't have a lot of gaming stuff. It's funny. I played. Okay, so I have a weird choice. I didn't play that many games last year because the ones I did play, I played for ages, and so. As a Tale of Two Wastelands, and it's not like it's new games. So, but I played. I think my favorite game of the year had to be RoboCop: Rogue City, which may have been out the year before, but I played it this year. I don't know if it was out the year before or not. Has anyone played this game but me?
I was going to try it, but it's a first-person shooter, and I just don't play those.
Yeah,
That's why I didn't try it.
I'm kind of limited in that I don't play co-op multiplayer games, and typically I play RPGs, but I played this one because there was enough of an RPG element to make me interested in it. I really enjoyed this game, and
ditto. I play it. I'm still playing it right now.
It's got Peter Weller in it. It's got tons of references to the movie. It's a faithful addition to the movie canon. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and sometimes I like to just shoot things.
Yeah.
Ain't
nothing wrong with that.
I think that was my favorite game. I did play a lot of Shadow of the Erdtree and Elden Ring. I'm still playing it because I don't think I'll ever get to the end of those games. And I like them. It's funny. I hate them and I like them at the same time. I'm not a big Souls type game guy because I prefer some quest markers. But I also like wandering around trying to figure out where the hell I'm going. So I guess that part of it's okay. And then I did play Black Myth Wukong. Again,
I keep hearing about this game and it looks awesome.
It's awesome, but I struggle because I'm just not very good. I don't get good. Like some of the combat, I can't defeat some of the big bosses in it. I've worked my way quite far into it, but I find it frustrating. So I have to put it down and go back 3 weeks later and try again. But RoboCop, I think, was the one I liked the best. And then, of course, thanks to John, I'm playing Tale of Two Wastelands. Thank you, John, for sucking up more of my life.
You're welcome.
And I haven't even got to New Vegas yet. So, but RoboCop was a pretty damn good game. It had a few nice elements. Normally, I don't play first-person shooters, but I gave it a go. What about you guys?
Us sports fans had to get the college football game. We got that. Me, John, and Knock all play it together. Nice. that one's a lot of fun. Of course, they hadn't. We all had to get it because they haven't made that game in more than a decade. I think the last one was 14, wasn't it? Maybe it was right at a decade. But yeah, had to get that one for sure.
I just got the demo for Lost in Space, based on the classic series game.
Wow, I've never even heard of that.
I haven't either.
It's the demo. You can download the demo for free over on Steam, and I just got that. I'm still playing Rogue City, but I have been playing a little bit of LA Noire, going back to that one, and a couple of these Steam. I did too. What I love about it, this is so goofy. I like to go on side missions, but more importantly, I just love to drive around Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Because it's the entire city, street by street.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Some games are just the background is almost amazing just to run around in. I feel that way about Red Dead Redemption 2. I can constantly go back to it and go on hunting trips.
Well, see, I get that one, but this one is an actual city, and you get to go drive around it.
Yep.
The way it looked, in the 1950s and the 60s, and it's in the late 40s.
That's awesome.
You see the changes.
Yeah,
my favorite one was to go to Perry Mason's building from the TV series Perry Mason back in the 50s.
I loved LA Noire, and it was just kind of like almost like a side project for that studio based upon some of the GTA success.
And there was a breakup that happened that caused no sequel to happen because Rockstar and the other team went their separate ways. So we'll never see a sequel.
Yeah, shame, because I did love it. I love the RPG elements to the question, and the fact that it had a story that also didn't go where you expected it to go and wasn't a feel good, happy ending type story. It had some dark moments.
Another game that I keep trying and I keep getting my ass kicked in is 6 Days in Fallujah.
Yeah.
My problem is the controller. See, I have an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work with it right. And so I have to switch to the keyboard, and that's terrible.
It's funny. I have the problem that I play everything now in PC, but I'm still using a PlayStation controller. Nothing ever maps on PC properly. So it says press X, and I'm pressing X, and it's the wrong X. I have to remap everything.
The wrong X, right.
Yeah.
I must be the only guy here that plays on consoles. So
I've still got a PS4, but
I don't even see a need for consoles anymore because.
Sorry, John, what are you saying?
I missed that.
Well, yeah,
you still do.
You still play a lot of stuff on PC.
I
mean, the stuff when you were playing Baldur's Gate, for instance, I couldn't do 1/10 of what you were doing on that game because I don't play it on.
See, I have that game and I've got it lined up ready to play. And once I've done Tale of Two Wastelands, I'm going to start playing it and I will stream that.
Oh, you need to.
I'm not. I've never been good at turn-based strategic combat type things, so it's new for me to play that. So I'm looking forward to showing everyone just how crap I am as I play it. That will be funny.
Cool about it is,
it's what I'm really good at, though, is FPS.
People can mock me when I'm playing it. So,
yeah, Gary, you're really good at those things. I just. That's an assault on my senses. I just can't handle it, bro.
Yeah, did you see that video of when I turned to my left in the game and Martin is over there? He just spawns and he gets fucking smoked.
No, I didn't see.
And I just stood there and I waited and the guy came around the corner and I smoked him back and I said, I have avenged you, Martin.
I have avenged you, sir. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Use Martin as bait, did you, bro?
The Baldur's Gate 3 will be a big part for me of next year. There's not that many games coming out I'm that interested in. One of them is Crimson Desert, which is Pearl Abyss. It's an RPG. And I think this Exodus game might be quite good. It is Carpathian, or whatever his name is, that wrote Mass Effect 1 and 2. Drew Carpathian.
Yeah.
Exodus, it's called. It might be good.
What was the one we were talking about the other day, John? I think it's called Atomfall.
Atomfall. Yeah.
That one's isn't it post-apocalyptic, something like that?
I know John's looking forward to Avowed.
No, I'm not. I will play it, but that's only because I'm getting it as part of the Game Pass.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah.
Will you enjoy it as much as Dustborn, do you think? Or
I tell you what, I played I haven't played a lot of 2024 games because there wasn't crap I was interested in this year, except for like the Madden stuff and the college football 25.
Yeah.
But I played. I'm still playing it when I get time. Is the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Yeah, I'm hearing good things from people about that game.
Surprised me. I wasn't sure because everybody's like, oh, it's woke, it's this, it's that. It's not really. I haven't seen a whole lot of woke
pretty
stuff.
good.
But it starts out you're playing freaking Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, the boulder scene, right?
Yeah,
all that stuff. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
It sounds pretty cool.
But I mean, some people say the controls are clunky, but it's a Bethesda game, so I've kind of, I kind of know how to handle the.
Is that the Lost in Space game you're talking about, buddy?
Okay, I've never heard of that.
This is the Lost in Space game. Just got it. RoboCop Rogue City. I'd say about almost halfway through the game.
It's fun.
6 Days in Fallujah. Yeah. This is a tough game right here, my friend. I hated this game. I got so bored. I like the America's Army games. Insurgency is really good. Sherlock Holmes games are a lot of fun. I finished a lot of these.
Yeah.
Like Call of the Cthulhu, I finished that one.
I haven't talked to anybody
really
who
stuff.
finished Death Stranding.
Wait a minute. I'm looking for the gay dating simulators on here. Where are they?
Well, that's this one right here, Mad Max. I love this game. Have you ever played Mad Max?
It looks cool. I got
it's
it
on my
Game
list,
Pa-
but I didn't play it.
PlayStation Plus. Not
It's
too long
a
ago.
bitch. It's so tough. I paused it and I just haven't gotten back to it. Dead Frontier 2 is really good. I like that one. I like the horror games. If I'm not playing a first-person shooter, that's one of my favorites.
The horror games.
Do you play Star Trek Online? Do I see that there, buddy?
I have it. I have not since they went totally woke, so I stopped playing it.
Right. Gotcha.
But I did finish this one, and I got the other new one. Where's it at? Oh, I've got 2 copies of Modern Warfare 3. Where's it at? There's another Sherlock game I just got. Here it is. Crimes and Punishment. And I'm stoked. I want to get all of the Sherlock games and give them a try. This first one, you actually have to go through Victorian England and have to find locations, find clues, wander around and do shit. John would like this kind of stuff.
The Holmes. I play the Sherlock Holmes games.
Yeah, the Testament of Sherlock Holmes is a great freaking game.
Testicles of Sherlock Holmes.
I will never get rid of it. Yeah, the Testicles. And this one, L.A. Noire, is just one of the best games ever made.
I gotta hide that from.
I'm trying to see.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
We're running out of time, so I'm gonna move on briefly. But yeah, that's Sherlock Holmes games. Nice to meet somebody.
Oh, Hard Rain. Hard Rain. I got halfway through that game. Oh, that's a tough game.
Yeah. So just briefly, a couple more things that I didn't really sit through the year and go, here's a bunch of music I like, because most of it was old shit that I play. But this is one for you, Joe. This is your Bayou guy. This is the Louisiana guy, Tab Benoit.
Really? Okay.
I Hear Thunder, his first album in like 10, 12 years.
Wow.
And it's all about the Bayou.
Music written in the bathroom.
It's all about the Bayou. He's from Baton Rouge.
I Hear Thunder.
It's a great blues rock album. He's got songs about the Gators.
What year? This year or last year?
Yeah, it's just a month or two old, this album. Tab Benoit. Check it out, everybody. He's a great guitar player, great artist. And it's all about Joe's stomping ground, Louisiana.
He's from the New Orleans area, isn't he?
He's from Baton Rouge originally.
Baton Rouge.
He lives. He has a place out in the Bayou in a studio, and all these songs are about the Gators and the Bayou.
I'm sure.
So he's pretty good. I don't have a huge collection of best albums of the year, but obviously I did love Invincible Shield.
Of course.
Judas Priest.
That's on my list.
You and Pope were locked at the hip with that one, no
Indeed,
doubt.
and John's got it on his list. Saxon, say I like the Old Boys. Hellfire and Damnation, great album. That was way back in January, of course. Another one I loved was High on Fire.
That's on my list.
Yeah, Cometh the Storm, brilliant.
That's some great album art. Wow.
Great metal album, fantastic guitar, some really savage guitar playing on this one. See, it's guys like John, Pope, and Nick that turned me onto these albums. Midnight, a band I really only got into this year, but Hellish Expectations was their release this year. Pretty interesting.
I like that artwork.
Oh yeah, interesting band.
Ridiculous.
They veer from like really dark, crazy thrash stuff to pure hard rock, like old-fashioned hard rock. It's quite an interesting band for me.
There's kind of a classic feel to that artwork.
Oh yeah, and then band that Imp turned me on to Opeth, their latest album, The Last Will and Testament, a concept album about a Swedish family. So there you go. But very, I love the thing I love about Opeth is it's all very grand. You would call it dark metal, but it's very grand and sweeping and orchestral in a way, So, and then this isn't an album; it's a song. My wife is into country stuff, and plays it all the time. This doesn't sound country when you hear it, because it isn't. Chris Stapleton, who's a country artist, it's a song called Think I'm in Love with You, and it's one of my favorite songs of the year. It sounds like a Motown song when you hear it. It's like
Is he
Motown.
country western or what is he?
He's a country or western. He plays both kinds.
He plays both kinds, country and
But
western.
this isn't, you wouldn't know he was a country artist. It's like black Motown soul thing. It's fantastic. Beautiful song. It's
Well, you know, I don't know if you guys, you probably haven't, but when I'm driving around in the car, just to keep my finger on the pulse, I'll turn on a pop radio station locally, and half the stuff they're playing is country music.
because if you listen to the country stations, half of it sounds like pop.
Yeah.
Hip hop,
It's
pop.
ridiculous, man. It's crazy.
Like,
It's all-
Yeah, there
country
right
sounds
now, to
like-
be honest with you, as far as the mainstream goes, country's dead.
Yeah.
It doesn't even exist anymore. It's the indie artists that are bringing it back.
Yeah.
Well, I could like to throw one other album out at you. It's Bruce Dickinson's The Mandrake Project.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's on my top 20 list, I'd say.
Oh, I liked Afterglow Ragnarok. It's
Yeah. I find I've got very little time to listen to stuff. Like I might listen to it once and then I move on because I haven't got the time. Which is why I'm trying to listen to Gary's stuff multiple times so I do it some justice. You know, that's why it's taking me so long to get back to you to do a show. I don't want to just hear it once. I want to hear it 10 times.
You'll notice on my album that it's very versatile. It's I go from a bluesy soul song to like funk to there are two on there that have that almost dance style music, even though it's not. But there's a pop feel to it because one song I intentionally tried to sound like The Weeknd because I like The Weeknd. Nobody else I know seems to like The Weeknd.
I do.
I
enjoy that guy's music. Yeah, he's good.
I do too. He's got that retro 80s feel to him with the synthesizers. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I did see you as a funk soul brother. So I'm going to check it out now.
Wait a minute. Casual Display was a band I played in. I was the only white guy in the band. And
Wait a minute, you're white?
Drummers. I'm a cracker. Because playing with that band is where I first got called a cracker. And I'm like, what the fuck is a cracker? I didn't even know what it was. So I played with my buddy Anthony Jones, who's on my Facebook page. You can find this guy, great fucking drummer. He and I were the drummers for this band, dude.
Sorry to interrupt you, mate. I just want to say good night to D Bud Martin.
Bud.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks for modding and all that great stuff you do. And it's good to see you back. You couldn't do Wednesday nights. I need you back for Monday. So thank you. Thank you for being here, buddy. Sorry,
I'm
go
so
ahead,
glad
Gary.
he drops all the time. D-Bud is seriously, since 6 left, he is now the hardest working wrench.
D-Bud's such a great guy.
show.
Yeah.
Vince Womack's another one. Vince Womack's on my channel all the time doing a bunch of
Vince,
stuff.
he's never done mine, but he absolutely is out there. I see him all the time. But you got to give these guys respect and love for what they do.
Yes.
Oh, D-Bud's such a great supporter of many channels, but he's been so good to me. So I'm going to have to start wrapping up in a minute or two, I'm afraid. But so Gary, sorry I cut you off there, but you were talking about. But you and I can talk about that when we do.
I still have at least 8 inches. We're good.
When we, hey, yeah, I've got 12 inches, but I don't use it as a rule.
My buddy from the army, he says, I got 2 inches, but I throw it like it's a foot.
Yeah, I've only got 3 inches, but they like it that wide. So
yes, 6 inches around.
Right. Books. I'm not going to talk about a ton of books, and I do read every day. I try to read something every day. I've discovered this guy this year, Mark Allen Edelheit. I read this book off Midway Station, military sci-fi, which is one of my favorite genres. I was very excited to read it, Guardians of the Dark, book 1, until I realized that he'd only just written it, so there is no book 2 yet. So I got really pissed off because I wanted to keep moving on. But anyway, great book. But he also writes fantasy type stuff. This series, I'm just about to finish this series. There's 8 books in it called the Steiger Chronicles. He thinks about the Roman Empire a lot, this guy, which I like. And it's it's the Roman Empire, but as if you'd have to read it, but they're on another world. And there's a whole reason for that. So, anyway, that's a set of books I discovered. I'm thinking of reaching out to the guy to try and make a video with him if he'd be up for that, because I'm really into this guy's stuff now. Mark Allen Edelheit. Edelheit.
I only bought one book this year.
Yeah.
The Tomb of Thunder.
The Tomb of Thunder.
John, that guy, right?
It sounds like Culture Casino's bathroom.
By that guy.
Yeah,
right?
see, you hear thunder, and the first thing I think is somebody in the shitter.
So who's the guy that wrote it? Sorry?
This. Let me see if I can get go in the right direction.
Yeah.
That way, the guy to your right on the screen. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he wrote it. Yeah.
Yep.
That guy.
That guy.
Yeah,
that
I
guy.
put
You
up-
wrote the Tomb of
Available
Thunder.
on Amazon.
How did I not know
On
about
Amazon.
that?
Yeah. I
I
actually put the
follow
link to
John
my-
on Amazon, but he doesn't follow me back.
Right,
on
I'm going to go buy that now. So sorry, John.
He's got a novella out too. What is it? Thunder Odyssey? Is that the
Yeah,
name of it?
Thunder's Odyssey.
I'm sorry, mate. I should have been paying attention. I'm going to go get that right now. Trust me.
Yeah,
Trust me.
it's,
I always
You
like
ever
to
act
support-
stupid when somebody says novella and go, "What is that? Like transliterature?"
Wasn't he a composer, a British composer of the 1930s, Ivor Novello?
Is that a chocolate spread?
Right. So we're going to wrap up with another clip, and then we'll say our goodbyes. So before that, I'm going to play. So as you know, I'm into hockey. Alex Ovechkin.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Alex
Yeah.
Ovechkin is closing in, unfortunately, on Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring record. But I must give Ovi credit. He is a funny guy, and he did a lot of great adverts in his time. Here's one of them.
Hey, Ovi.
Hey, what's up?
What are you doing in the dark, man?
Nothing, just the late night filings.
Really? Late night filing? What are you, a Russian spy or something?
Yeah, right.
All right, I'll catch you later.
Yeah, see ya. Пронесло. Да, уж чуть не спалили.
That's awesome.
Let's play another one.
Hey, Alex, why is Backstrom on your life insurance policy?
We're a duo.
A duo?
Yeah, if something happened to me, who is Becky going past the puck to? His power play points might drop. How he will get his assist? What then? Yeah, what then?
And why is he always here for breakfast?
He does such great adverts. Actually, this is the best
By
one.
the way, I
We're-
just sent you another private message, Brian,
Okay, hang on.
in your group.
Oh, right. Something you need me to see now?
I wanted you to know I want you there for that.
All right. Well, let me just play this one final Ovi clip.
Go.
And then we'll say our goodbyes. So here we go.
Hi, I'd like to order some food. How many people know? Just me. 3 pizza, 4 chicken fingers, 2 meatloaf dinner.
Got the blue.
6 large french fries. I need some sausage. 5 lobsters, lots of ketchup. Chicken corn dog, Canadian bacon.
What are you doing?
Going for it? 6 Pepsi. No, just sugar. That's it. My name? Sidney Crosby.
Ovechkin.
I love that one. Name Sidney Crosby.
Oh my God, that guy eating all the friggin' complimentary chocolate in the hallway is just
Yeah, he's eating
hilarious.
the Andy's chocolates.
That's right. That's a funny NHL advert. But Ovechkin doing it all under Crosby's name, charging it to Crosby. It's Ovechkin. Ovechkin. Anyway, we didn't get to cover the what I'm looking forward or not looking forward to in 2025. I'll have to do that another time. But we did cover 2024, and I would like to dearly thank my friends for joining me on this stream. Back to the Mondays. So it's been good to see you guys. So thank you all. Let's just check out what you guys are up to soon. We'll start with John.
Oh, well, you can find me every Friday on, I got several places I am. Friday, I'm on Pop Culture Minefield with playing Tales to Wasteland. I didn't this last week because it was Martin's birthday, so we took that one off, but we'll be back this Friday. I enjoy people showing up and trolling me, and they do that a lot. So, but you can find me on Joe's channel a lot with on 2 shows there in particular. On Wednesdays, I'm on State of the Atmosphere, and on Sundays, I'm on and soon to be Saturday for the playoffs.
The next 2 weeks.
Yeah, the next 2 weeks going to be on Saturday. It's a pregame party, and we talk about the NFL and college and football in general and what's going on, and try and break down the games that have happened and what we're who we think are going to pull off the wins and the upsets in the games coming up.
Cool. Thanks.
And I wrote a book.
Hey, and you're about which I'm just about to go and get. So thank you very much, John. And once I get it, I'll certainly do a video about it. So
awesome.
Thanks for being here, mate. It's always good to see you. Joe, it's also always good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too, buddy. You guys know you can go to my channel and see what the schedule is. It's the same every week. The nuances are, like John said, Saturday is NFL pregame party because we've got wild card weekend. It starts Saturday afternoon at 3:30 down in Houston. So we'll be doing that at 10 a.m. on Saturday. This Tuesday, my video game stream, Papa Joe Gamer After Dark, Video Games, Cocktails, and Fails. I'm going to be playing Madden through the years. I'm going to play different years of Madden. And on State of the Atmosphere this week, we're going to do what we're looking forward to in 2025. So that's what's up with me.
Good.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
Thanks for being here, buddy. Gary keeps sharing screens. We'll get to that in a minute.
For what
my friend, well, I'm going to show you this.
Yeah, there you go.
So you get
that's going to be one with Brian, but this Wednesday we're doing Outland with Sir Sean Connery.
Sure, Sean. And
when are you doing that one, buddy? Slapshot.
That's Wednesday.
Have you
Slapshot? I need to talk to Brian because I want to schedule around him.
Have you done In Bruges yet?
No, that's another one I want to do.
All right.
That one will probably be a Wednesday.
If anyone hasn't seen that movie, it's brilliant, and you should definitely see it. Yeah, very funny, but also very sad. And then Escape from LA. It's well worth watching, even though it has a less of a reputation than it's different. That's for sure.
It's not a sequel. It's not a remake.
Nope.
It's a requel.
It's a requel. It's a requel, and I'm trying to figure out what I did with the Outland. There it is.
There it is.
There you go. This time I'm outer space. Yeah, as you say, I have a ton of material from when I did a live stream on that, so it might be useful to you. I don't know. Anyway, what else, my friend? There's Anne Margaret.
You can leave that up if you ask me.
Wow.
Every Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Talking about a movie. Mondays is Military Monday. We talk about military films and shit like that. And there we go. And those are some of the films. I love Grok. I shit you not.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
This one right here in particular, I was just like, holy shit, look how fucking awesome that is. It reminds me of the old days with Mad Magazine.
That's exactly what it reminds me of.
That's what I was going for. I love caricatures. And so I play with it until I get what I want out of it. And that nailed it. I mean, look at Gleason. Jesus Christ. That guy's got a Fred Flintstone head if I ever saw one.
Yep.
It does do some great stuff. I'm sorry, I'm still looking at Anne Margaret's breasts.
Why are they not on the screen? Damn it!
Well, let me show you. This is what I did with Grok recently. I said, give me a picture of a Scotsman at New Year with a roaring fire, a flock of sheep, and fireworks.
There you go.
Yeah, and it gave me that one, and then it gave me this one.
He's got his sporin
and that one. So,
oh my God,
it's pretty good if you think about it.
They are good. They look like good. Oh my God, that's photoreal. That's awesome.
So as for me, next week, first of all, thank you everyone in the chat for watching. I know it's tough people have probably forgotten we're on Mondays again now, but Thank you to Davina and D-Bud for modding. Thanks to everyone else for their chats and being here. John's going to show us one. There you go.
That's
that
what
looks like
drives
Ray
me.
Stevenson.
Yeah, I
That
know.
does.
And I look a little like a friend of mine, Jericho Johnson. But
Cool.
I asked it to draw me based on my tweets.
That is pretty cool, mate. Yeah, nice. I'm going to steal that.
Remember the ones I put up for Bambo that one time?
Yeah. Bambo. Yeah. So next week, if I can produce this damn show, here we go. Next week, not that one. That's Outland. We're doing Canon Film Club America 3000. That should be hilarious. Like this,
Yes.
Going to have a lot of laughs with that show. And Austin Trunick will be joining us for that, so that should be fun. And I will be working on. I've got a video working on for a Korean movie I saw the other day called Harbin, which is probably could be considered the last movie of 2024 or the first movie of 2025 for me. I don't know which one it is. So I'll be doing a review of that and working on some other stuff, including working out with Gary when we're going to talk about Cohen's Ghost. And now I've reworked the memberships for the channel because they were a little too high priced, I felt. So I've reworked them. There's a 99-cent level, a $2.99, a $4.99. They're the same levels as before, just cheaper. So hoping to encourage more memberships so I can then do member streams and stuff like that, which we can have some fun with those if we get the chance. So please.
Yeah, when I figure out how to do watch-alongs, that's when I'm going to do it.
Yeah, so please take a look at those. I'm an old retired guy, so any help I can, and I desperately need a new computer.
Did you say retarded?
Retarded guy or old retired guy. So I desperately need a new computer for one thing, and some other stuff. So any help you can give me. Sex aids don't pay for themselves, you know. So, well, unless you're Gary. So
I
anyway,
get solar powered ones.
We're back later on tonight. I'll be on Comics Division Monday Night Meltdown. Tomorrow night on Nick Visor's channel, 32 Flavors of Nick Visor, of course. Toxic Tuesday. We're talking about Training Day.
Oh wow.
Wednesday. I don't know. Well, Gary was talking about doing a show on Wednesday. Or are you talking about some Wednesday or next Wednesday? Any Wednesday. So other shows will be around. Saturday night Bourbon and Boarding for the hockey fans, me and Drama, and other shit will be happening. It's been real. Thank you very much. Oh, and I got to do a physical media stream this week because I got new things like this.
Nice. Like 7.
Like 7, huh?
Hell yeah.
So we will be doing a live stream on Blake 7 on Monday in the next month. I know that some of you will be up for that. So
I like some Blake 7.
I also got, I got a bunch of stuff. I also got this John Pertwee season 3, complete season 3. The classics. Yep. So anyway, physical media live stream coming up this week. Until next time, stay well and keep on rocking. See y'all soon.